Hello, Levitical Kingdom Privateers. On September the 12th and 13th, we are hosting the first annual Holy Nation of the Ecclesia Conference. The theme is Threshold Covenant, with great worship brought to us by the Woodcock Singers, a great MC known as Plain Flyer 21, speakers like Dr. Mike Spalding, Jim Odell, Randy Conway, C2K Rick, and our keynote speaker, the world-renowned Vicki Joy Anderson. And don't miss a very special and world-altering Friday night event that will equip you for what is coming. Admission is free for our naturalized families and very affordable for our guests. Head over to c2kreport.com and scroll down on the homepage to find our link to purchase tickets for your friends and family. And remember, it's all about the blood.
Let's fix the most famous verse in the book of Fables, John 3:16. I'm sure you know it. He loved the world so much that he gave his only kid, and whoever doesn't believe gets torched. Now, here's the fix. Real love don't demand belief. It don't require blood. It just loves with empathy and compassion. Have a blessed day.
Welcome, Privateers, to the Privateers Volley, and I am your host, Rick Hidalgo. And today we're talking about love. Yeah, we're talking about love. This fella, what do you say? Real love don't demand belief. It don't require blood. Just loves with empathy and compassion. Now, first of all, I'm not going to be a grammar Nazi here, but yeah, interesting verbiage. Look, you're first of all misquoting John 3:16. I know you did it in a mocking spirit. I totally get that. Obviously, you have an adverse reaction to the idea of blood being shed on your behalf to show love. You have an adverse reaction to the fact that it's necessary to have belief. But can I just pose something to you, sir? This is what I want to say. Belief and blood are both necessary when you put in the context of what's going on here. First of all, you do understand that there's a war going on from the beginning of time. There was an incident in a garden that caused a great problem. Okay? And that great problem needed to be redeemed because there's an inheritance at stake here. The earth is the Lord's. And it's at stake, literally. So it needs to be redeemed. The plan, the original plan, needs to be put back on track. And in order for that plan to get put back on track, it does require blood because there was a blood pledge that was put on the line there. And that blood is necessary in order to restore that original plan, which has you and me having an opportunity, let's say, okay, an opportunity to live forever in absolute perfection, paradise, whatever you want to call it. But it requires belief. There is a difference between the relationship between you and your fellow man and God and man. Because of mistakes that were made, there needed to be a restoration made on that path in order to bring the original intent to pass. And that was God created man so that man could be part of this plan that he had for his only begotten son. The only begotten son, Jesus, was going to inherit the earth. But the problem was that man created a great transgression, which is a chasm, okay? And in order for that chasm to be restored or brought back together, right? Because a chasm is a wide division. In order for that to be abridged, the only possible bridge is the shedding of blood. Now, because Jesus was God in flesh, God knew that he would resurrect. There was never a question about that in God's mind. In ours, of course, when we see someone die, we don't expect them to be resurrected, right? Because we don't have experience with God in flesh. Okay, so we don't have that same resurrection expectation. But and you can see that in that the disciples, when he passed away, were not expecting him to rise again. See, your concept of love doesn't take into account the greater need and the bigger picture. There's a lot more going on here. So I'm going to, I forgive you for, first of all, your outlook, because you're just, all you understand is relationship between man and man, mankind and mankind. And in that case, yeah, you're right. I mean, empathy and compassion is important. But we're talking about a different form of love here. There's various types of love, and this is the greatest love. Thanks for that reminder. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to have that conversation. And remember, everything we do here at Privateers Volley, it's all about the blood.